Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. Yesterday, we finally saw a reversal with the ETFs. I did mention how we had 4 outflow days. One pretty bad one on the first earlier this month, but you know what? We finally flipped to the green side. There's now buying once again. And that is a very good thing. And same thing with Ethereum too, although Ethereum had 2 straight days of inflows. So bottom line is the panic selling from Wall Street may be over. We had 4 straight days of it. People were a little afraid about some of the stuff that came out last week, but we may be over. And now we are ready to get back to where we were and make a new high. It's going to happen. Sooner or later, we will see a new high for Bitcoin and for the entire crypto market cap. And it's going to come sooner than people think. It always does. No one ever expects it. Whenever we make these big moves, no one really is prepared. It just happens, and it happens very, very quickly. And today, we may go right back up to 118, 119 if things continue. All right, now, here's something interesting. Bakkt. I haven't really heard of this company for a while, but this back in the day, Bakkt was the very first company that was going to come out with Bitcoin futures, I believe, and there was some controversy. The CEO decided to leave and become a senator and all this stuff. I mean, it was just like a lot of complex stuff. Anyways, they're still around and they're doing some kind of interest. I don't know what. I guess because they want that name, they bought some Japanese textile company. Or at least bought 30% of it, and then they're going to rebrand as Bitcoin.jp, and they're just going to become a Bitcoin holding company now. So, I don't know why. That textile company is like, all right, screw it. We're not going to make a textile anymore. We're just going to become a Bitcoin company. Well, I guess these days, that's not so uncommon when you have like Metaplanner and Remix Point. They're just acquiring Bitcoin and they are doing extremely well. Maybe that's what they're doing. They're like, hey, screw it. We don't need to produce more blankets. We're just going to acquire more Bitcoin. That's the better strategy. So that's happening. And obviously, the usual players are still acquiring. But this is interesting that MicroStrategy, one of the usual players, bought 182,000 Bitcoin year to date so far. And because they're buying, and not just them, others too, but basically in cumulative, we had so much buying in the OTC market. The OTC basically market is drying up. This is what it's saying. You could see how it's just decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. The OTC market is actually lower than even 2016 levels. And that's when Bitcoin was in the hundreds. So it goes to show you that, yeah, even though we have a lot of OTC buying, and a lot of people always get angry about like Sailor and others buying OTC and not really affecting the market price all that much. Long term, these buying definitely do. And I've said that because, hey, there will always be people that sell OTC. But the overall number of Bitcoin out there is consistent and stays the same. It's not like this is new inflation. This is not like the Fed or any other central bank just printing more money and handing it out. No. Doesn't matter where the whales buy from, either the OTC or spot market. It's coming from the same group of 21 million Bitcoin. So it's definitely having an effect. And this will continue to drop because, you know why? Sailor and ETFs and BlackRock and others, they're not going to stop buying. They're just not. That's why this is the one asset you want to just hold in DCA long term and pretty much forever, because it is scarce and demand is going up, and you do the math. What do you think is going to happen, right? All right, now short term, we're in this pattern very similar to one that we had in 2016, right before we had a huge monster climb that went from $1,000 to $20,000 in 2017. Yeah, we peaked at $20,000 in 2017. Who wouldn't go back in time and put all their money, even at $20,000, right? It seems silly back in the day if you bought at $20,000 only to watch Bitcoin go back down to $3,000. Yeah, that felt horrible, but hey, if you didn't give up and you continue to hodl, look at where you are now, 3,000 up to 117,000. I'd say that's a pretty good return. It goes to show you again why you never really want to sell Bitcoin, unless you want to take some profits. But Bitcoin just continues to go up and up and up and up because of the scarcity factor and because demand continues to go upwards. So anyways, what this is showing is, hey, if we're repeating the same pattern as 2016, guess what's going to happen next? We're also seeing this inverse head and shoulders pattern, which could drive us obviously higher to the next leg. And what is that next leg? According to this person, the next leg will be around $133,000, and it could come very quickly. Like I said, when we start going up, we just go up very, very, very fast. This cycle, it's been a little bit slower in terms of these parabolic jumps. But hey, we're getting into the latter half of this year, or we are in the latter half of this year. We're getting into the final months of this cycle, and that's when things can get very, very exciting. But according to this, we're going to hit 133,000 really quickly within the next week or so. And then we come back down, and then we go back up to another high, and then we keep going. But this is showing by September, we should be at $150,000. And keep in mind, in September, we're going to get that rate cut too. And just like last year and the year before that, October was when things got really hot. Last year was, it started October. The end of October when we started going upwards. And the year before that, people don't realize that's when we started going up too. So it could be the same way. Things are playing out the same way.